Yes, you rightly pointed out that external relations and internal policy, they are reflections of each other. But luckily there is a silver lining that the dispensation that we have right now, the leadership that we have, I mean, I look at it as I think probably the best team in a long time that we have, which is leading the country.
The financial team?
Financial and foreign affairs also.
Okay.
So, Shehbaz Sharif himself, the new prime minister, people used to say that, well, he is an administrator and people.
He's a doer.
He's a doer, but he's more interested in administrative things. But now, in almost 2 months, he has been in power since April, and he has, I think, proved his mettle. He can look at the broader picture and look the steps that he has taken, and look at the team that he has gathered. So, Shehbaz Sharif, 5 people in this, 5 or even 6 people are very important who are going to, I think, which gives me hope. Shehbaz Sharif himself, look at the steps he has taken, went to Saudi Arabia, went to Turkey, sent Bilawal Bhutto Zardari to America. Of course, he is foreign minister, but without prime minister's approval, he can't go. Foreign minister has to take permission from
obviously,
the prime minister.
That's the SOP.
So, that is the SOP. So, that means the team that we have, and these two parties which are leading the country right now, PMLN and PPP, they represent majority of the people. Most of the vote, 2/3 of the vote, according to the previous election, 2/3 of the vote were polled not to PTI but to the present dispensation, non-PTI parties. So, Shehbaz Sharif himself, a highly capable person, I think. He has proving his mettle in foreign affairs also. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, the way he conducted, he went to America, the way he is addressing press conferences,
the body language,
even going to that extent that defending the former prime minister
regarding the visit,
regarding that probably I couldn't do, but he had the courage and he had the mettle to do that. Then Hina Rabbani Khar, highly qualified, articulate person. Miftah Ismail
already served as the foreign minister in the PPP's government.
Yes, now she is Minister of State. Miftah Ismail, see how he is handling things, and finally Khaja Asif as defense minister. So these 6, and not to forget old hand Fatimi, advisor Tariq Fatimi, who's advisor on foreign affairs to the prime minister. In foreign affairs, he accompanied, in fact,
he's a seasoned, I would say,
seasoned diplomat. So these 5, when I look at them, though there are of course apprehensions, as you pointed out, I am also apprehensive. There are a lot of problems, but the kind of damage that was done during the last almost 4 years, it will need some time in mending, and this process of mending and fixing foreign policy is already underway. Because when you say from geopolitics to geoeconomics, that I think
that is also a part of your national security policy now, sir.
Yes, and then this is not a dichotomy. There should not be a binary approach. They are not. You cannot move directly from geopolitics to geoeconomics. They are all interlinked, because your economic policy, your foreign policy, they are related with your politics.
Absolutely.
Just one example, look at India. I mean, we can have so much good relationship, economic relationship with India, but the politics, Indian attitude, Indian atrocities. So, politics, if you have negative politics or negative political approach, that is ultimately going to affect.
Sir, Indian adversary is China. Look at their trade. They always talk about enhancing the trade.
And they have much more trade than between Pakistan and China.
Absolutely.
So,
87 billion.
Just imagine.
Yes.
And so taking it over 100 billion, sir.
Yes.
And look at China and USA for that matter.
Yes.
Again.
Yes. So now what is to be done now? The Prime Minister and the team has been to, now we have taken care of to some extent Turkey, Saudi Arabia, even to America. Now I think a couple of things also need to be kept in mind. The most important is probably Afghanistan. 2 things I would point out. One, while advocating the need for humanitarian aid in Afghanistan, which they badly need.
Absolutely.
They are suffering. Almost half of the population is food insecure, 20 million people, which is a huge number. So, we cannot leave them alone without humanitarian aid. And today's news is that even an Indian delegation, though they don't have it, they have not recognized. But
the Taliban regime, yeah.
But they have sent a delegation to Kabul to negotiate the mechanism to provide more humanitarian aid, which is a big step, which is a major step.
Indeed.
See, so while doing that, the second aspect which we should be careful of is not to repeat the mistake that the previous government made, advocating Taliban politically. That has been very harmful. The Taliban's policy in Afghanistan, anti-women, misogynistic policy, the way, the dispensation that they are running, it seems that they have not learned. So Pakistan should be very careful. While trying to help them, we should be politically careful. This is one. So otherwise, if we repeat the same mistake which the previous government did, advocating their case politically, that will be harmful internationally. That will isolate Pakistan. Then coming to China. Again, with China also, today our Finance Minister Miftah Ismaili said that, you know, there are indications that of that rollover of over $2 billion. That is,
there was this news, it has been done.
It has been done.
Yeah.
So this is a good news. So while we are normalizing relationship with America, we should be very careful not to antagonize China. So what we need right now, a very good balancing act.
I think that is $1 million question.
One point that I like when Dr. Oka was saying being emotional, this is very important to get out of emotions. You know, politics, economics, they have nothing to, and as he very rightly pointed out,
Choice of words
that, you know, we as a nation, not only people but leaders, we have become emotional. Now we need to get out of those emotions, just like we should learn from Arab countries, Gulf Arab countries, Saudi Arabia,
what a great
UAE.
example. Oh yeah.
You know, there are problems with Israel, there are problems with India, but you can't look at them emotionally. So the same with what we have not discussed up till now, in the last 5 minutes, I would like to focus on two more things: India and Iran.
I just written that.
India and Iran. I think we need, first let me talk about India. I have been saying this, that we need a fundamental shift in our policy towards India. Agreed.
So when we say that, you know, unless and until they you know, go back to that August 6th, am I right? Which date was
yes,
it?
I
2-3 years ago.
Yes.
And then we'll start. They will never do that.
They will never do that, and you know, this will carry on. We have wasted 75 years, and this is going on and on.
We are ready to waste another 75 by the same policy.
We should learn not only from Arab countries but also from China, as you just rightly mentioned that, you know, China has border problems with India.
Xi Jinping, when landed in India, I remember Modi was receiving him 2014.
Yes.
He said that, you know, despite all odds, whatever issues we have in Ladakh, keep them separate. We have enough wisdom to move on.
Look at Taiwan. You know, China has problems there, but the trade goes on.
Oh my God.
So, and in that case, you know, let me remind, 20 years back when General Musharraf, well, I am against military dictatorship and I don't like what General Musharraf did. So many things I don't like. But at least one thing that he did right was initiating a process of negotiating with China, with India, and
Agra.
Agra, and then opening trade, opening various points of entry. So that helped a lot. And those 10 years, you know, from 2000 to 2008, or unless that attack happened in 2008, before that, it was overall under Musharraf's period, it was moving fast and good.
Even prior to that, the parliament attack, they handled it well, diplomatically.
Yes.
You talk about the Mumbai attack you were talking about, handled well again.
Yes.
Despite that everybody was pointing fingers towards Pakistan, documentaries were being made, fake movies, fake ideas were floated. Yeah?
So, you know, whatever is happening right now, we need a fundamental change, and that means that leave political differences on one side. We keep talking about Kashmir if we like, we keep talking about their atrocities, but at the same time, trade relations should start, economic relations should start. You know, we are talking about markets. Which market can be more than 1.4 billion people in India? Imagine.
The whole world is looking at them, and we are not being the neighbors.
And we are in between, you know, the problem, the same with Afghanistan. You know, from Kabul to Calcutta, the world wants an open trade so that it can go further to Central Asia and other countries. Now,
Even
because
I
of
would
just
I would also link. I mean, everybody says that because of this, political problems or diplomatic issues between Pakistan and India has led SAARC to even. I mean, it's gone to.
It has to
It
be-
has become a history now.
No,
but
it
look
has
at
to
the
be
potential.
reached.
Look at the potential.
It has
I mean,
potential.
but if Pakistan and India come close, I'm not saying improve their relationship. Let me be specific. They improve their diplomatic relationship, sir. I am sure Afghanistan problem is going to be half solved.
Exactly. When we open trade from Kabul to Calcutta, it is going to Central Asia straight. The TAPI is stalled.
Russia can be a guarantor in that.
Russia can be guaranteed from Iran to India, that is
IPI.
stalled. Yes. So, once we change our basics, fundamental change, this is not cosmetic change, fundamental change is needed, and when that fundamental change takes place and if we improved our relation with India, economic relations, if not political, then secondly I will talk about Iran also. With Iran also we have had topsy-turvy
Always,
ride.
unfortunately.
Yes. So, the good thing is that again this is latest yesterday and today
The
we have,
president was in Pakistan, and instead of Rouhani being in Pakistan becoming the headline, you know what was the headline?
yes,
Yes.
Kulbhushan
Yes.
Yadav's
And
case.
I had a word with few
Yes.
of their journalists. And
Yes.
they said that even the president is not happy with all this.
Yes, but the
Simple.
good
I'm
thing is
being
that
honest.
now today we have signed another agreement with Iran. If you are familiar with the 5 agreements have been signed in Zahedan about opening more border points with Iran. But the point is that Pakistan has just rice and cotton to import to Iran.
Export to Iran.
Export to Iran.
$1.2 billion worth of rice was once exported about 10-15 years ago.
Yes,
Imagine.
but it has gone down. So now we
But
need,
total
just like we
bilateral
are,
is less than 500 million, sir.
we are talking about improving trade with Turkey. It can't happen unless
Until it goes through Iran.
until it
Exactly.
goes there. So this about this whole region, we need some fundamental change rather than focusing on
Approach. You need to change your approach.
We need to change approach, and all state institutions should come together.
As
This
we
political
Chinese, as
leadership
earlier
alone
mentioned about
cannot
the
do it.
Chinese wisdom, I think.
Yes,
that has
and
to come
no
into play.
sabotage. When a political leadership makes efforts, no sabotage. Just like in 1989 when Benazir Bhutto tried to initiate that, there was a backlash. Exactly 10 years later when Vajpayee came, this is from 89 to 99.
I
Again
know.
there was backlash. So when political leadership tries to normalize relationship, it should not be sabotage. It should be supported. That is my point.